I'm going to start by asking about working with Arnie and Linda. I've only just discovered, though, today that it's only English people that call him Arnie. Apparently he's Arnold in America. Well,
no, I think... my dad's English. He always calls him Arnie. Yeah, I guess I assume everyone does.
English. But yeah, I'm just wondering about working with those two. I mean, because obviously I seeing them on screen together is kind of incredible. But to be on set, not just with them individually, but together in these characters, feels like a kind of piece of film history in some regards.
Yeah. I mean,
that was weird.
Yeah. This is the Terminator is like a tentpole in cinema history, especially in the action, circus, and just he seemed to just step right into it, and then there we were getting to. I actually had them drive me an hour and a half out to set on their first day together, just because I wanted to see that happen, and it was in the scene where they're out in the house and that was just, it was pretty special. You see that it's in her blood. I mean, the character of Sarah Connor is in her blood, and no one knows it better than her. So we were so happy that she was there. And then to see them kind of, having these verbal sparring sessions was just really, really wonderful to watch.
Because I mean, she's badass in this. I mean, but she's a great female action lead of a generation. But this is a franchise that is again prolonging that. It's giving power to female protagonists. I mean, it must be great to be part of a franchise which it's not just your character or her character. I mean, there's a trio of really strong women at the helm of this project. Yeah,
and I think it's nice to be a part of a franchise that has that in its DNA. It doesn't feel like a thing that's being done because strong female characters are in fashion. Sarah Connor is the character that is exciting. The fact that she is a woman is kind of secondary to what an amazing character she is. And I think they follow that through with Grace and with Danny in this movie, that they're great roles. And they're great roles for anybody. I happen to be female playing it, but it's kind of besides the point. It's like an amazing role to get to inhabit.
Because I mean, acting is, I imagine it's taught about being about emotion, and showing emotions and showing the kind of nuances to emotion. But you, in this instance, have to kind of play a character that has no emotion. Is that actually quite hard to take away? Because I guess it sort of goes against everything you've kind of learned about acting in some ways.
I did learn. I worked with the City Company in New York, Anne Bogart and J. Ed Ryzen and all these people, and they do a very physical training. They try to teach you that acting is a physical thing. It comes from your body in a place, and you speak from that place. And a lot of it is based off like Japanese kabuki and all these other things. So I was really excited to just use your body, the whole instrument from top down. And especially when I was in my mocap PJs and I didn't have my face to work with anyway, so I had to kind of utilize that. But in the scenes where I do interact with humans, I didn't want it to be this weird like Russian doll. I'm a guy playing a machine playing a guy. I just thought it'd be better just to play it like I would any other scene between two actors. The only difference is I wouldn't blink.
Yeah. And, just to keep your eyes open a lot.
Yeah.
Would you be good in a staring contest?
Yeah.
He does such an amazing... I mean, there is so much emotion, though, because he's playing a sociopath, basically, who's able to manufacture and create this, like, synthesis of human emotion convincingly, but then you see him drop it just as quickly, and it really feels like watching a psycho.
Oh, it's terrifying. Yeah, you did a great job.
It's incredible.
But it does feel in some regards that this is passing the baton on to the kind of the next generation. I mean, in a sense, I mean, obviously, for Arnie and Linda, I mean, I'm not sure whether they'll do any more Terminator films, but would you be interested in continuing this franchise on? Because it does feel in some ways like they're passing it over to a new collective.
I mean, I think, for me at least, if the movies continue to be as good as this one and you get to work with this group of people and on this level of a script and with this director, then of course. I mean, it's just about, it's exciting for a movie to come out and to promote it and for people to see it, but our life is the on set and making of the thing, and this movie was really hard, but it was such a joy to be a part of, and I feel so proud of what we got to do. So, yeah, I would love to do more if it got to be like this.
And that car chase scene, that must have been pretty fun, but quite grueling to shoot. How was that sort of? Because I mean, that first half an hour was just...
Oh, God.
My God, dude, that was gnarly, bro. It was like 110 degrees. We were out in the middle of southern Spain, in Murcia.
The agricultural area, you can see from space these agricultural farms, and they're filled with fertilizer. So there were more flies that had evolved to not be scared of humans, and they would just sit on your face in the scene and be drinking your tears. It was so gross.
Well,
it was so
speaking
gross.
of the not blink, like I'm driving in a fly, and we're shooting, and I just let it stay there. It just kind of it was crazy, and I think you probably took a lot of that because there's a scene where she like slices this fly. Like,
Oh, that's a great.
Yeah, I think she tried to. I see it in her eyes. She's taking it all. She's taking it out all in this one fly.
Yeah, it was done.
But no, that was grueling, man. That was. But it was awesome because it's the style of scene that you're used to in these films. You got these big rigs. You got Mike Massa out there doing a great job, like controlling all of our car stunts and just the stuff that we did, man. Just blew up a bunch of stuff and flipped a lot of cars, and it was exciting because that whole thing was done with pods. Like Mike Ryan was on top of my truck driving this big rig from the top. He has the world record for descending Pikes Peak in like 12 minutes on a big rig. And then Debbie, who was driving for her, there's a scene where she's driving backwards and Debbie's on a pod on the rear bumper of this vehicle, driving it. Like, I don't even know how that's mechanically possible. But a guy named Graham developed all that, and it's just really incredible.
Well, it's worth it because it looks brilliant. And thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, babe.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey!